Please silence or turn off all cell phones at this time. Today, the men and women of the United States Air Force pay special tribute to Master Sergeant Edward D. Wilkerson on the occasion of his retirement from the United States Air Force, culminating in over 21 years of faithful and honorable service. We would like to extend a special welcome to Master Sergeant Wilkerson's family, his wife Angela, mother Jean Bennett, his son Zachary and his wife Melissa, grandchildren Ethan, Petra, and Harbor, daughter Anna, and her husband Joey. We also welcome the rest of his family and friends who have traveled many miles to be here. We would also like to welcome all commanders, chiefs, first sergeants, their spouses, and other members of Team Charleston, and especially the men and women of the 315th Airlift Wing. We appreciate your presence and camaraderie, and thank you all for being with us today. Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the arrival of the official party, the playing of the national anthem, and the invocation by Pastor Russell Kinlaw, Jr., Sergeant Wilkerson's brother-in-law.
I want to say I count an honor to be here. I'm probably the greatest civilian fan of the military. I really appreciate what y'all do. And our prayers are with y'all. Really are. Appreciate it. I want to say this before I pray. Eddie is a gentleman. My wife sees him as gentleman's gentleman. He opens the door for her, makes me look bad. So I've learned to have to open the door for my wife. So I appreciate that, and he's dedicated and disciplined. I like that. Let's pray. Our Father which art in heaven, we're going to give you thanks today for the many years of service and sacrifice of Master Sergeant Eddie Wilkerson in the United States Air Force, and for his family members who have made tremendous sacrifices of support for his service in the U.S. Air Force and for our great nation, and for furthering the cause of freedom worldwide. God, we pray that you give Eddie and all his circle friends and family spirit-breathed inspiration, God-given joy, and heaven's might for that odyssey and purpose that lies ahead. We give you thanks for being with him every step of his journey in the Air Force. I know you will continue to be with him in his future. Your word promises that you preserve our going out and our coming in from this time forward and even forevermore. Thank you, Father, also for your Son, Jesus Christ, who died to forgive us our every sin and reconcile us back to God. For your banner over us, all of us, is love. Thank you for your constant presence with Eddie, our president, our nation, the entire military, and as Moses prayed over Israel right before his retirement, Moses said these words in Numbers 16, "The Lord bless thee and keep thee. The Lord make his face shine upon thee and be gracious unto thee. The Lord lift up his countenance upon thee and give thee peace. And they shall put my name upon the children of Israel, and I will bless them. And may the road rise up to meet you. May the wind be always at your back. And God, we pray for Eddie and his family and friends. May the sun shine warm upon his face and the rain fall soft upon his fields. Until we meet again, may God hold him in the palm of his hand. Amen.
Amen.
Please be seated. Ladies and gentlemen, Lieutenant Colonel Jason Snyder, Commander, 38th Aerial Port Squadron.
Right. A lot of familiar faces. Tracy came down. Good to see you. Robert, John, great to see you. Awesome to see you. So I've been calling you Ed all these years, and now I hear you're being called Eddie. And I thought that was like family. So I don't know what's going on. I just don't know what's going on. Thank you for setting me straight. You're just so darn polite, you didn't want to tell me. I got it. Well, good afternoon, everyone. It's a little warm in here, so but it's a worthy cause for sure. We'll see if maybe we can get some airflow going on in here, because the more I talk, the hotter it's going to get in here. It's just that hot air thing. But thanks for joining me today and celebrating Eddie's career as he moves into retirement. I usually don't have prepared comments for retirements, but as I was reflecting on what I wanted to say today, I realized, this is a great man, obviously, that we are recognizing today, and he has some fantastic things that's occurred in his career, and his family's been supporting him through the years, and I didn't want to miscue. So, pardon my comments here, but I want to make sure that we set you off in the right manner. It's really wonderful to see the family here. Really appreciate that. In mass, by the way, in numbers, right? That's very telling of the support network behind us, beside us, sometimes in front of us, when we are serving in the military. What we do has a dramatic impact on the quality of life, sometimes good, sometimes bad. Missed birthdays, missed weekends, missed anniversaries, sometimes missed holidays. Entirely missed weekends, entirely missed weeks, sometimes entirely missed months if we're doing deployments. But we appreciate what you do so that Eddie can do what he does for us, and what he does for our military, and what he does for our country. We try to talk and recognize the family as much as we can in that support network, but there's never enough we can say. So again, Angela and Miss Jean Bennett, Zachary, Melissa, Ethan, Petra, which is a beautiful name and a beautiful city that I've been to, Harbor, Anna, Joey, really happy to have you here. If Miss England, sorry. Really happy to have you. Thank you. Consider this a second home. Anytime. Thank you so much for, again, supporting your husband, supporting your son, supporting your father, supporting your grandfather. Just thank you so much for all of that. Ed, I've known you for about 10 years on and off. And it's been a pleasure to serve with you. We've served in 2 separate units together. And I'd like to say that means I really know you, right? I really do, except I didn't know what your name was. Over those 10 years, coming and going on each other's lives in those 2 different units, I've never seen you fake it, not once, not at all. You've always been all heart, you've always been all in. You're the real deal all the way. And that's pretty amazing, right? Sometimes folks like to absorb the mantra of fake it till you make it. And that can work. And that will let you go the distance when you need to. But I've never sensed that one bit. You've always been prepared, you've always been all in. I really appreciate that. I know you're a man of faith, a very strong faith. I know you're a man that stands by your convictions. Something that is less and less common to find these days. You're a humble servant leader. You're a source of strength and encouragement. And you're wise, but you still seek to learn. That's a fact. You absolutely embody our core values of integrity, service before self, excellence in all you do. And you're all of this, and you do all these things, whatever seeking recognition. I don't know if anyone ever in here has ever heard him say or talk about wanting recognition. In fact, it's just the opposite. He never wants the recognition. He always wants to pass on the recognition. You never need validation. Again, a very unique thing to find. And it just goes to show how comfortable you are in your skills and your abilities and your own skin. And really how true you are to your beliefs. You're a remarkable leader. Many here would consider you a trusted advisor and a source of reason. I know I put myself in that camp. You're also a hero in almost every sense of the word. Those of us that have served with Eddie know that. A thought that I want to be mindful of is I want to go through some memories, but I also realize that some of these memories may be worrisome to some people, may bring memories that aren't necessarily good memories. But I'd be remiss if I didn't share a moment that's perhaps the best reflection of you in your service to self, your selfless service and service before self. I'll spill the details, but please indulge me for a minute. So I want to talk about a situation that hasn't necessarily defined you as an airman, but it's certainly something that I can't go without saying as we reflect on your years of service, for sure. So while Eddie was deployed in 2009, Sergeant Wilkerson was on the flight line, and he witnessed a NATO Allied fighter aircraft loaded with munitions crash upon landing, I believe. Takeoff, okay, on takeoff. It essentially crashed with the pilots unable to escape the wreckage. Okay, and I'm simplifying this whole situation, but Sergeant Wilkerson, in the face of danger, no doubt, ran towards the crash, pulled the pilots from the aircraft, carried them to safety. And it's much more complex than this. There were other dangers in place at the time. And despite the risk of unexploded ordnance, despite the risk of a crashed airplane, despite the risk of fuel on the ground, he did that. He did that without hesitation from what we know of the recounting of the event. We could spend the entirety of this retirement just discussing his bravery during that day. In fact, I'm probably not showing it the proper honor by not doing so. But I know that Eddie's very modest about the event. I know that the danger of the situation can be unsettling to some. For his bravery, Sergeant Wilkerson was awarded the Airman's Medal. Right? It's a very high honor. To understand the significance of the Airman's Medal, keep in mind that this medal, when ranked among all the other medals that are possible, all the other medals of prestige, okay, this medal is listed between the Distinguished Flying Cross and the Bronze Star, some of the highest honors that you can get in the military. It's awarded to a member who distinguished himself or herself by a heroic act, usually at the voluntary risk of his or her life. Eddie, thanks for your bravery in that moment. You're a hero. I want to take a minute to talk about the rest of his career as well. So you entered the Air Force, enlisted active duty in 1980 as an ammo trooper, which I didn't know. We've got a couple of other crazy ammo people in this crowd. Oh. Well, I want to let you know that in 1980 I was 1 year old. And I was killing it. I was owning it at 1 year old. So here's a couple other things that happened in 1980 to help make you feel old. And maybe help other of us wonder what the hell was going on in 1980. The Rubik's Cube debuted in 1980. Which is surprising. I thought it debuted way earlier than that, but 1980, that's how old it seems. And Mount St. Helens erupted at that time, forever changing the face of that Seattle area for sure. CNN was founded in 1980, which is kind of interesting. And then later in 1980, for you soap opera fans, that's when we found out who shot JR. Wow. That's pretty funny. And so your first duty assignment was Bitburg, Germany. Tough assignment. I'm sure you didn't enjoy any of that. But I know you got some good stories. I've got to spend some time in Germany, and there's really no bad assignment in Germany. I don't care what anyone tells you. But then you PCS'd around 1983, 83-ish, to Holloman, New Mexico. So Holloman, especially during its heyday, was a fantastic place to be. And it's a beautiful area of the country for sure. Some people, I think, give Halloween a bad rap, but you've just got to enjoy that. You just got to make the most of it and really enjoy that part of the country. It's beautiful. And then, is it 86-ish? 86? You left active duty Air Force, and you focused on building your family, which is manifested right here in front of us. Right? And it's a beautiful family. Absolutely beautiful. And then, so you raised that family for till about early 2000, 2003. Eddie and I were talking about this a few days ago. He felt a calling reviving him. He recalls really feeling some word from above, some divine guidance that he needed to go back and serve in the military again. So in 2003, you joined the Air Force Reserve. Thank goodness. And clearly, there was a plan and a reason for that. As we look back in your career and as we look at what you've done here, no doubt. But you came back in the Air Force, and your first assignment was with the 53rd Air Force Squad. I've been there, and I'm an alum. We got other alum in the room. So anyone that's an alumni of the 53rd, raise your hand. It's pretty awesome. That's pretty awesome. Many of them came back to celebrate with you. It's phenomenal. And a lot of, like I said, a lot of familiar faces. It's super awesome to see everybody, for sure. So, shortly after joining the reserves around 2005, you were telling me that, and I didn't know this about you either, it just shows to your exemplary performance through and through. You came down to Charleston, was it 2005 you came down to Charleston for Airman Leadership School, and you won the Levitville Award, which is essentially Distinguished Graduate for what we call ALS. It's pretty phenomenal. Massive accomplishment, and a whole lot of a consistent theme going on here. And then a few years after that was when you deployed in that event, especially that heroic event that we talked about happening in Kandahar at the time. And certainly other things from that deployment that you did that were phenomenal as well on top of what we talked about. So I met you in 2007 at the 53rd. I was coming off of active duty. I was full of grit and vinegar, and had to decompress a little bit, change modes. Your demeanor absolutely inspired and motivated me to be a better airman, no doubt. Silent leader, I would say, and like I said before, a servant leader. And later, when you came to the 38th, again, of course, I had the pleasure to work with you. I think when you came here, I was probably a flight commander or transitioning to the ops officer role. It was a huge benefit to work with you again. I had the benefit of being a little more grounded and a little more well-rounded, and that really allowed me to be inspired by you again, but not to be a good airman, but to be a better man and a better person. And I could really appreciate those other aspects that you embody and show us every day. You see, you have an amazing presence. This man has an amazing presence. And it's not a presence that is formidable and owns the room. It's a presence that's just among us and influences us without us even knowing we're being influenced. What do y'all think of that? Do you agree with it? Yeah? Absolutely. Your actions are deliberate, and they always seem to have meaning. You would never claim to be a hero. Heck, you'd probably never claim to be a leader. But you see, everything that we talked about so far, these things are what make great leaders and phenomenal heroes. You've built up dozens and dozens of airmen, and you've allowed them to have successful careers. You've imparted bits of wisdom here and there that have grown into massive seeds or massive trees of strength, of knowledge, of capability. And that will continue to happen long after you're gone because of everything that you've done. So let me close with this. Ed shared with me a John Maxwell book on leadership, and thank you for that. I don't know when you want it back or if you want it back, but you may not get it back. And you just gave it to me yesterday or the day before, and I already started reading it. And as I was reading it, I wanted to point out a couple things. On the first few pages of that book, it reads that as a leader, okay, the quality of leadership springs from the quality of the heart. And I thought that was pretty powerful. I think that talks about being genuine and it talks about actually caring and having compassion and empathy and always meaning to do the right thing. And one of the closing statements in the book is this. It says in the book, as a leader, when you talk to your people, engage with your people, it's about, we have a vision. This is a challenge worthy of our capabilities and commitments. And we can do this. Those are some of the parting comments that I thought were really inspirational and really reflective of what you've done here in your leadership. You're the real deal. Cover to cover, as by this example shows. Your quality of heart's the highest caliber, as is your leadership. You've motivated airmen through their career, that our nation and our freedom is a worthy challenge. You've inspired all of us of our capabilities, and you're allowing us to commit. As you pass the baton to the folks next in line, they'll exclaim, "We can do this." We'll miss you. It's absolutely been a pleasure to serve with you. Thank you for making all of us better people and successful airmen. I wish you and your family all the best happiness. I ask that you stay in touch, and God bless you all.
Ladies and gentlemen, please stand for the award presentation. Attention to orders. Citation to accompany the award of the Air Force Meritorious Service Medal to Edward Daniel Wilkerson from 1 January 2015 to 10 February 2019. Master Sergeant Edward Wilkerson distinguished himself in the performance of outstanding service to the United States while assigned to the 38th Aerial Port Squadron, 315th Mission Support Group, 315th Airlift Wing, Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina. During this period, Sergeant Wilkerson's leadership directly contributed to the wing being recognized as the best in the 4th Air Force, winning the 2016 Rain Cross Trophy. Additionally, his dedication to the aerial port mission resulted in the 38th Aerial Port Squadron's selection as the 2016 Air Reserve Component Air Transportation Activity of the Year. Furthermore, Sergeant Wilkerson drove unit type code training for 27 ramp services airmen, ensuring they earned and maintained qualifications on over 25 tasks and across 4 material handling equipment platforms, while participating in multiple military exercises and joint training scenarios. Finally, Sergeant Wilkerson was instrumental in the successful execution of 4 annual tours while moving 1,127 passengers, 56 tons of baggage, 1,069 tons of cargo, and 12 tons of mission-capable parts on over 358 missions. The singularly distinctive accomplishments of Sergeant Wilkerson culminate a distinguished career in the service of his country and reflect great credit upon himself and the United States Air Force. Today's ceremony will now begin. Please remain standing for the reading of the retirement order.
Publish the order.
By order of the Secretary of the Air Force, the Department of the Air Force, Washington, Special Order Number EK-1225, Master Sergeant Edward D. Wilkerson is relieved from duty with the Reserve, 315th Airlift Wing, Joint Base Charleston, South Carolina, and is officially retired from the United States Air Force Reserve, effective 10 January 2019, in the grade of Master Sergeant after more than 21 years of faithful and honorable service. Please be seated. Lieutenant Colonel Snyder will now present the retirement certificates. Certificate of Retirement from the Armed Forces of the United States of America. To all who shall see these presents greetings. This is to certify that Master Sergeant Edward D. Wilkerson, having served faithfully and honorably, will be retired from the United States Air Force on the 10th day of February of the year 2019. Signed, Lieutenant General Richard W. Scobie, Chief of Air Force Reserve, and General David Goldfein, Chief of Staff. Certificate of Appreciation for Service in the Armed Forces of the United States. Master Sergeant Edward D. Wilkerson, I extend to you my personal thanks and the sincere appreciation of our grateful nation for your contribution and honorable service to our country. You have helped maintain the security of the nation during a critical time in its history with a devotion to duty and a spirit of sacrifice in keeping with the proud traditions of military service. I trust that in the coming years you will maintain an active interest in the armed forces and the purpose for which you served. Those who follow in your footsteps will draw inspiration from your commitment, dedication, and sacrifices made to ensure the protection of our American freedoms. My best wishes to you for happiness and success in the future. Signed, Donald J. Trump, Commander-in-Chief. We would like to invite Sergeant Wilkerson's mother, Jean Bennett, to the stage. Miss Jean Bennett will now place the retirement pin on her son's lapel. Sergeant Wilkerson's wife, Angela, with a certificate of appreciation for steadfast support of Master Sergeant Wilkerson throughout his career. United States Air Force Certificate of Appreciation is awarded to Angela Wilkerson for her outstanding commitment as a wife. Due to her selflessness, faithfulness, and devotion to family, she has contributed to the success of her husband and provided unwavering support to him. Without her steadfast dedication and loyalty, the successes of her husband would be hindered. This award is to express the gratitude they deserve. Presented this day, the 10th of February, 2019. With certificates of appreciation for their steadfast support of Sergeant Wilkerson throughout his career.
I'll read it real quick because I know you don't have a copy, LT. It says, for their outstanding commitment as Edward's son and daughter, due to his selfless faithfulness and her selfless faithfulness and devotion to family, Zachary Anna has contributed to the success of Edward and has provided unwavering support to him. Without his steadfast dedication and loyalty to success of Edward would be hindered. This award is to express the gratitude that Zachary and Anna deserve. Presented this day, 10 February 2019. Thanks again.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time we have some informal gifts to present to Master Sergeant Wilkerson. First, senior enlisted gift.
You never know what you're going to get. Neil, I didn't even see it. How did I miss you? Welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
All right, so unfortunately, I didn't have a lot of direct time with Ed, and I regret that out there. I'm not going to share the full details of a message he sent me recently, but I'll tell you, it hit me right in the feels. He sent me a text message and expressed a little bit of that regret that we never worked a little more closely. And he also gave me a little leadership boost out there as well. And dude, that meant a lot. You know, as a former 53rd alum, I know we didn't overlap at all, but you know, I know he comes from good roots. A lot of 53rd folks here that remember me. I remember that face there as well. It was Neil with it. So on behalf of the men and women of 30th Airport, we got you this nice insulated mug. Master Sergeant Ed Wilkerson, 6 August 1980, 10 February 2019. Little C-17 etched on it, as well as the 30th Airport logo right there. So truly appreciate it. Wish you great luck in the future. Thank you.
How'd you miss me? Well, it's good to see you guys. It's been a long time. You know, I retired in June of 17 out of 38. But Ed's been a real close friend of mine. He's had my back all throughout these years, and I appreciate that. He supported me as well. And this is a little token of our appreciation. This is the Port Dog chalk, where you chalk in and chalk out. And I'll read the dates. Master Sergeant Edward D. Wilkerson, blocked in 31 December 2003, blocked out 10 February 2019. In appreciation for your service and support to the United States Air Force and to the 53rd and 38th Air Force Squadron, Port Dog.
Ladies and gentlemen, it is my pleasure to present Master Sergeant Retired Edward Wilkerson.
Seriously, I looked at everyone and I went, wow, thank you. That's my honor. This is my honor right there. Like, hunker. So, only words of wisdom I want to leave you with, it's your career. It's your life. Stop, take time, pray, seek advice, seek people that can help you, mentor you, get you to where you want to go. If you're not on the direction you need to go, change direction. If you're not happy where you are, you're not a tree. Get up and move. make the best of your life, make the best of your career, because you're gonna turn around, it's gonna be as fast as anything. I wish you all the very best. Thank you so much for coming. Thank you for honoring me. So many have come. Where's David May at? Where's David May? Raise your hand, May. This young airman was with me in Kandahar in 2009. He was on that same field that day with the jet crash. Best plane. There are folks before I finish. There are also 2 other Airman's Medal holders in this room, and the odds of that are in the millions. Retired Technical Sergeant Patrick McDonald. Raise your hand, sir.
There it is.
Master Sergeant Robert Wallace. I wanted to honor the 2 of you as well. Okay, I'll shut up.
Well, we have to present you also with the flag. Everyone, please take your seats. Just a couple more things to make sure that we're honoring Eddie. And then I just have one more thing to say. Port Dog!
Ladies and gentlemen, the men and women of the United States Air Force are proud to have served with Master Sergeant Wilkerson and wish him and his family every success in their future endeavors. Thank you for attending this afternoon's ceremony. Please rise for the playing of the Air Force song and the departure of the official party.
Hold on. Start it over. Start it over. We're going to do this right. We always miss the cue to the Air Force song. Into the wild blue yonder, climbing high into the sun. In the clouds, our thunder, at boys, give her the gun, give her the gun! Down the guys, sounding rays from under, off with one hell of a roar. We live in fame, or go down in flames. Hey, nothing can stop the U.S. Air Force. I've had a chance to meet you. Thank you very much. Everyone at ease, carry on, please.
Gonna miss you, Ed.
You gonna get him right now.